Welcome to my very first tutorial of the Cinema4D Beginners Series. Now, you may have started up Cinema4D already and so try a few things, and I'm just going to quickly explain what this series will cover and what I'm going to show you. This video is going to cover some interface. In this video, some basic modeling, lighting, rendering, texturing, maybe some animation, maybe particles if you would like that, and many other things. Now, maybe you already did something. You're absolutely free to do so. Just experiment with things. You can't really break it. If you think you have broken it, just press Ctrl N or go to File, New. You can see the shortcut is Ctrl N. So that won't be a problem, or just go to Layout on the top right as shown here, Layout, and press again on Starter. Now let's jump in. As you first start up Cinema4D, you're gonna have this, the basic layout. Now in the middle of the layout, this big screen, is the view panel. You see a grid with green, blue and red lines. It's the 3D axis if you're familiar with it. If not, green stands for Y, which is going up and down. The Z axis stands for forward and backward. And the X axis stands for left and right. Maybe you know that from Martens class. In this view, you can edit your objects, position the camera, or rotate the lighting. In order to rotate around the scene, you need to press Alt and left mouse button, or use this little button here. Now, some people have a problem with this. It looks kind of weird, don't you think? That's basically the problem when you press the right mouse button on the button. Then you can change the grid for some reason. Just don't use right mouse button. To move around in scene, press Alt, scroll wheel click, and you can move around. Or use this little button, which is highlighting blue now. Move around, and zooming is just easy scrolling, or with this button, which is highlighted. Now onto the Object Manager. The Object Manager basically lets you export objects, as you can see here, rename objects, adding tags, which I can quickly show you. Basic annotation tag. Let's see, hello world, and it changes to hello world. Yeah, that's basically it. The Object Manager is all that. Now on to the Attributes Manager. The Attributes Manager lets you handle everything to the object, to tool, camera, view settings, render settings, project settings, maybe like some info on it. Just go to Mode, Project, normally it goes like this. On project settings, just press Info, change the art to something you like, copyright if you want. You can see file path, the date created, file version of the software. This just lets you handle everything. Also for the tool, if you have a tool, which I can quickly show you. If I press 9, which is live selection, I can change the radius, so that means scale it up, it's really big now, or scale it down to 1 and it's really small, so you barely can see it. You can also say pressure dependent radius, or only select visible elements, like when you press something now, it also selects the other side. That's basically the attributes manager. It's let you control anything. Sorry for that cough. Now onto the material manager real quick. The material manager lets you create textures. Now I'm going to explain in a later video how to create textures with images. I'll explain more what these different things do. Just for now, it's just really easy to know that you can load materials and create textures here. You can just pump them on the object and you see the object change to white. That's the timeline. I forgot the timeline. What the timeline basically does is when you set a keyframe on frame 0. The 0 stands for frame 0, so the start, and you press on this little red button with the key. You create a keyframe. When you go to frame 10 and you move a bit down and set another keyframe, it will move down. So that's what the timeline does. It's just easy for animation, for example. Or if you have particles, you can just play the button and the particles will play. Now that was basically the cover for now, basically. I will quickly show you how to change your own startup layout. For that, find in these menus to Window, and maybe you want a new view panel for an interactive render. Now, when you press this Window menu, new view panel, this window will pop up, and press these little dots and drag it something to like somewhere, maybe like it here, as I've done. Make sure that under view, use as render view is unticked, and in order to do that you must go to this big view panel and press view use as a render view. Sorry. Now maybe you want the picture viewer docked. Picture viewer lets you see the rendered image or rendered animation. In order to do that, press these little dots again, bring it on these little dots right here. If you'd like it somewhere else, you can just easily do that. I like to have here. Yeah, see, now you have a different tab which says picture viewer. You can switch between them on just clicking on it. Again, maybe we want the render settings tab, which is basically this button, the render settings. Now if you want it docked, we can just put it on to the picture viewer, and as you can see, we have created a new tab for the render settings. What render settings are and what you can change about them I will explain in a later video, but for now this is okay. Maybe you want some new little buttons. I have a few things that I added on my own layout, which are really helpful. Press Shift C in order to search for commands. The first command I use a lot is center axis to model. I can show you real quick. That's basically when you have an object and and the tool, this little fella, is outside of the object, and you press on this button, this tool will go back to the object. Now you can do that with this and manually do it, but it's a lot easier when you just press this button. So yeah, if you ever encounter that, this is really helpful. The next thing I like to do a lot is when I do that again, for example, press Shift C again, search for commands, center object to model, just add it. What that does is the object switches from here to there, so the object is going to the tool thingy. Again, a new one is scroll to first active. So when we quickly duplicate a few objects real quick, I'm duplicating objects with Control and just positioning them when I have nothing selected and I want, for example, no, that's a bad one. I want, for example, to let's say this one, and you don't really want to zoom in, just press S or this this button. Oh no, just press S and it zooms in for you. It also works for the object manager. When you press S, it scrolls down to the selected one. Yes, so that's really helpful. Yeah, let me quickly delete all these. Sorry for the silence a bit. I must say, when you try to add a material editor and node editor to Docket, and you save your layout, which I'm going to show you how to do it, it's gonna glitch a bit. You can see the view and the material editor, and that's really annoying, because then every time you have to go to the material editor and go back to the view, and you don't want it. It's going to slow down your workflow. So I think this is it for now. Yeah, we can also go to, what can we do? Yeah, this is basically what we want to have, or what I want to have. You can always add more, like projection man, and edit, but I always use view, picture view, or render settings, this little fella and these little things. So now I'm gonna show you how to create, of how to save your layout, because you don't want to change your layout every time you start up Cinema 4D. Now go to Window again, Customization, Save Layout As, and Save as Startup Layout. And if you don't want to change anything about your saved layout, you can just press on Lock Layout and you can't change anything. So you can't undock it or something. Ooh, that wasn't smooth. Okay, now just when you don't want any of these menus, you can just go to User menu, and you see you don't have any of these menus. Oh boy, when you want to have all the menus back, just go to Layout and switch back to Cinema 4D menu. Now you see you have all the menus again. Now let me show you how to save your layout. Go to Window, Customization, Save Layout As, and just quickly save it. Tutorial. Save, yes. And when you want that layout every time you start it up, just save as startup layout. Now I'm going to show you my standard layout, which is pretty much the same. It is pretty much the same. It's just the view panel, the picture view, and the render settings, and these little objects. These new palettes, as they are called, I just call them buttons, but they're actually called palettes. You can download this layout if you want, but you're completely free to create your own. And I suggest you just mess around with a few things with the layout. When you, for example, do this and you accidentally press this and you pressed this and you did this, it's okay, just press again on the layout and it will go back, except for this thing, because here you can see all the perspectives. Just press again on this. But that's basically it for today's video. The next part is all about modeling. So if you have any suggestions about what you want to model or what's easy and which covers holes, roundings or anything like that, just let me know. I'm eager to see what creative minds you have. Thank you for watching.